Let's take a look at what we're about to drink. Now, if you haven't already watched the video on Hard Road to Hoe's Pinot Noir, go back and watch that first, because this is the second video in a quick little series that I'm shooting. Because right here in my hand, I have Hard Road to Hoe's Syrah Grenache blend, the 2016 vintage. This wine is sourced from their Double D vineyard in the Columbia Valley. The winemaker is Judy Phelps. I'm excited to give this one a taste because it was an accidental inclusion in my wine club. I had ordered a bottle of something else, and this one showed up in its place. So very excited to give this a try because the universe decided that that's what I should try. So here we go. From the website, 63% Syrah, 37% Grenache co-fermented. This wine was vinified with 30% whole clusters and aged in mostly neutral oak barrels. The wine is rustic, fleshy, and full of spice with plenty of wild herb, black pepper, and brambly red fruit. The wine evolves after opening to express more fruit and beautiful, bright freshness. Pair with all sorts of food: grilled smoked ribs, sausage and bean stew, and also sockeye and king salmon. Drink this young for its spicy, exuberant fruit. The Double D Vineyard, located in Orondo, Washington, was planted in 2013, and this wine represents the first bottling from this site. 14.2% alcohol by volume, a pH of 3.6, total acidity 0.66 per 100 milliliters. Though this isn't 100% Syrah, it's only 63%. The rest, Grenache. I'm really excited to give this a try and see what Washington Syrah is kind of like. If it's something that my palate likes, then I'll definitely hunt out a couple others and see what's going on with the full varietal. As is, I'm really excited to put my nose into this and see what we've got. It definitely has a nice concentration of flavor to the nose. Some deep red fruit, more like a purple red, I would say. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of blueberry in there, maybe more mountain berry. Good herbaceousness to it, a little bit of pepper, very soft black pepper. And the herbs are not wholly in your face. It's definitely more of a, imagine buying one of those pre-bottled spice containers and then leaving it on your spice rack for like 2 years. It kind of has that kind of muted herbal expression. You know, that classic Syrah flavor. I feel it just like the light, almost caramelization goes straight down the middle of my tongue and hits the back of my throat. And the aftertaste, very concentrated plum, crystallized prune, almost a little black mission fig as well. Not getting too much tannically, some slight acidity on the sides of my tongue. Not too much viscosity to it, very easy drinker, albeit packed with flavor. Second sip, I'm getting kind of a cranberry blush on the roof of my mouth to coincide with all the other flavors. Almost a little bit of lingonberry, but not quite. See, it's still more of that cran apple flavor. Yeah, just a little bit of almost apple sweetness. Now the pepper is really asserting itself in the mid palate, sticking through to the finish. I'm getting less of the plum prune note and now more of that concentrated pepper, almost akin to an Australian Shiraz. Very, very nice. The way that on the finish, that plus all the other flavors slowly effervesce. I can breathe in and still get a little bit of that ester, but on the tongue, it's more of that concentrated fruit that's there, but not asserting any kind of a sweetness to it. It's kind of just a nice base layer, a coating, if you will. Further sips, that pepper becomes a tad overwhelming insofar as it's covering up most of all the other flavors at this point. With it just being open, maybe 15-30 minutes to let it breathe. I wouldn't necessarily say that it has to be decanted right off the bat, but that might actually help soften those notes and allow some more of the fruit flavors to express themselves. Also, in terms of food pairings, if you're thinking cheese, this would definitely go better with a harder kind of cheese. You don't want to do anything soft or blue. Maybe a good Vermont cheddar would work well with this. On a salted cracker, I think a little bit of salt to activate those taste buds will help meld well with the pepper notes and give it a little something. So speaking of salt, I happen to be a salt connoisseur. I love it. In this little jar, I have some Fleur de Sel. I'm going to see what a little dab of this on my tongue and then a sip of wine will do. Delicious. If you're a coffee drinker, add a pinch of salt to your French press the next time you brew. So with that, it's not a very heavy salt. I'm feeling it activated on the sides of my tongue. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, I feel like that tamped down the pepper notes quite a bit. I got that same kind of fruit expression that I did on the first sip. Almost a little more accentuation of the caramel type notes that I normally associate with Syrah. It's not like that syrupy caramel that some pure Syrahs have, but I can feel like the beginnings of tasting that. Yeah, I feel like that was a good choice. Might have to work that into the routine. Now, what can I say about this wine? It's a very interesting wine. I like what it's got going on. I think laying it down for a little while longer will help improve the balance. I think also too, letting it breathe will dynamically change the flavor. I'm really excited to kind of pour myself a little more here and then just let the glass sit for maybe 15-20 minutes. Do a little taste test along the way and see what happens over time. And I'm really excited to see how it's going to taste tomorrow. As usual, it's a Stelvin, so I'm going to pop a real cork into it, let it sit for 24 hours, and then get back to you and see how that flavor has developed. I'm thinking that this is, right as of right now, given its youth, it's going to be a better wine day 2 than it is on day 1, but we shall see. Right about. Back to back, just like that. Now we're on to the Hard Row to Hoe Syrah Grenache blend. Really excited to see how this is day 2. Between the two that I had yesterday, I was leaning more in the direction of this wine just because it had more of a, just a little easier to drink day 1 versus the Pinot, which, again, go back and watch that video. That one was a day 2 wine. We'll see how this one is. So the nose on this one, pretty much along the exact same lines as it was yesterday. I'm not detecting any kind of loss. Yeah, I think so far, right out of the gate, the flavor coming in from start through the mid palate, more soft and rounded. Still picking up the same notes that I was tasting yesterday, but on the finish, it doesn't have that kind of like strange funkiness going on between like straight down my tongue and the sides. Everything has come together really well. The more time this has to breathe, the better. So day one, go ahead and decant it as is. Let it sit for maybe half an hour to an hour, see how it opens up and comes across to your palate, see where it lines up with your individual tastes. I'm amazed at how the pepper is just receded back, become more in tune, more harmonious with the fruit bodies. Still leaning towards gooseberry, lingonberry for that sweetness plus tang. And the pepper is there. It's just like a subtle accent mark, I would say. Very, very well balanced on the mid and into the finish. Not as much of a mouthfeel as it had yesterday. Yeah, I think between the two, this is what I'm going to be drinking for the rest of the evening. Definitely going to be finished. So, thanks for watching. Give Hard Road to Hoe a try. Order yourself a couple of their wines and see what gravitates towards your palate. Thanks for watching.